to Menopause Morph, your time to change. We're here to help you thrive through your menopause, bringing you experts in many fields to help you from perimenopause to menopause and beyond to become the strong, vibrant woman nature intended you to be. Hosted by Pauline McCarthy of the Pearls of Pauline, pearls of wisdom, compassion, and joy.
Hello, welcome to this week's Menopause Morph. Today we have a lovely lady from Malaysia, of all places, our first person from Malaysia, our first virgin. She's the first time on a podcast, so this is a very virginal day for us, you know. Her name is Claire Liang. And Claire, after 15 years experience in the corporate world as a general manager, Claire turned her passion into reality, helping business entrepreneurs maximise their revenue growth and transform the lives of their employees by using her expertise and systems to enable them to live a life of passion and excellence, to live life by design, to live life to the fullest. Claire is an international speaker, the best-selling author of Breaking Limiting Beliefs. She is a serial entrepreneur and a strategic business coach who is committed to inspire, empower, and make a difference in people's lives, both in business and privately. She has travelled throughout Asia and United States and shared the stage with celebrities and successful entrepreneurs, including Mr. George Ross, who was Donald Trump's former right-hand man, Mr. Hugh Hilton of the Hilton Group, and Mr. Anthony Lawley, who's a multimillionaire and the founder of Rapid Reality in New York. It wasn't always like this. In 2003, with debts of over 300,000, Claire was on the verge of bankruptcy, but by 2005, they were completely repaid. She credits her self-belief for the turnaround. Claire has found ways to live her life by design, and she's committed to use her expertise to help others succeed and be like her, to live a life by design, achieving fulfillment and financial freedom. So welcome, Claire.
Thank you, Pauline.
So maybe people are listening to this and saying, what is this business manager doing on a menopause thing? You know, it's like, well, we all have our story, and a lot of women in this period of our lives, we're thinking maybe we're in debt like you were, or maybe we're fed up with our job that we're in. We want to do another one. So can you tell us, you were a general manager for 15 years. So what made you change your career, and what kind of career did you go into after that?
Actually, this is a very good question. What triggers me to change my career is, at first, I really do not know what I'm supposed to do or what I'm good at. Okay. So it happened on one fine day that was in 2013. I was diagnosed with a cyst in my ovary. And at that point of time, I don't know what to do. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we went for any specialist or whatever. The first thing they will tell you is that cut it off, because mine is at 5.9 cm. It's quite big. Mm-hmm. So went for several doctors and etc. So all asked me to go for an operation, but I'm scared. Okay, I believe that everyone will be scared when we talk about, to go to the operation theater and you don't know what will happen next. Mm-hmm. So yeah, although the doctor was saying, oh well, this is a small minor kind of operation, they just poke 3 holes into your body. That's all. Mm-hmm. And then after 1 hour plus, then the things can be removed. That was the whole process that I was involved. But when I was at the operation theater the day before, I was keeping up asking myself, okay, wow, what if I died tomorrow? Mm. Okay. Well, and what happened at that point, I was still working for other people. So the day before having the operation, I was working. And I was preparing a will. Mm. And I prepared several letters. So one for my family and one for my staff. And I told my executive assistant at that point of time, is Vivian. I told her, I said, if anything happened, you just pass these 2 letters. Okay? And inside will carry out my will and etc. kind of thing. And as the part time when I was writing it, what comes to my mind is that, now, what have I done for the past 30 over years? I mean, I'm not 38. I mean, to me, age is not a secret, so I can tell you.
Yeah.
So what happened was, then I keep on realizing is that, actually, there's still a lot of things that I haven't done. Okay, money. I do have money. I have my property and everything. but what else? And from there, then I began to search again. When I was first starting off my journey as a general manager, I mean, working in a factory environment, so-called operation environment, I like business. And I was spending my time to work on other people's business, helping them to build and etc. kind of thing. I like factory operations because I like machinery. So I started off as being a management trainee in a factory environment, whereby I'm a computer science graduate actually. There's no way I can go in. But because I have so much passion with machine, so I get into it. I managed to convince my general manager back then. So from that, I continued to become working in a factory mode. So I always thought that actually I like machinery. I like those operation stuff because I'm an analytical person. But then later on, when I was searching, what should I do next? What's my fulfillment? I don't feel fulfilled other than the money and etc. Then I begin to know is that actually I am good with people. I can manage in my factory that I managed before, my turnaround rate for every year, the staff turnover is almost equivalent to zero. Nobody leaves the company. They all stay. And they are very productive and very effective and very efficient. Then I started to realize that because I have a system, I have a way to run the business, to run the operation. Because it's very rare to have a factory that has close to 0% turnover, inclusive of the blue collar worker.
Yes.
So that was how I started I begin to decide that, okay, now I'm going to come up on my own. I don't care. I know that the things are going to be tough, but I'm going to do it. And yeah, so when you talk to me about this show that enabled me to help the menopause, the woman that is having menopause, or this kind of topic, if you need my help, I'll be there. That's the reason. Yeah.
Okay, and but did you go from one after your 15 years as the general manager? Did you change? You started your own company?
Yeah. Now this strategic business coaching that I'm doing is my own company, Infinite Altitude.
Okay, and that's you get a much better income from that than you did working for the other company.
Well, I wouldn't say 100% is a better income, but I get flexibility and the freedom.
Okay, so
and
then
I get to help a lot more of the people.
And you feel more fulfilled.
Yeah, definitely. Because if I'm caught in a factory environment, which I enjoy it, however, the number of people that I can help is limited.
Yeah.
I can help the people, I can help their family and all that, but it's still limited. But what if I step out from my comfort zone?
Yes.
So I can help more people.
Exactly.
I mean, just like coming up to your show, sharing the secret, sharing my message to the world, it will enable me a lot. And I believe that there will be a lot of people that will be benefiting from what you're doing.
Thank you.
So you're doing a good job as well.
Thank you. And you were talking earlier on about you had the cyst and you from your ovary, you had it removed, and the doctor gave you an injection that stopped your periods for 6 months, and you experienced some severe symptoms. So could you tell us about that and how you coped with it and how you overcame them?
Well, first of all, why there's a cyst in my body, not even the doctor can explain to me. Okay. I keep on asking the doctor why. They say, I have no idea at all. It could be the things you eat, it could be the pressure or whatever. Well, fine. Okay. So, and what happened is that after the operations, the doctor suggested that, okay, I'm giving you an injection. The injection is supposed to stop the period for 6 months so that it will reduce the tendency for the cyst to come back.
Okay.
So that was the information that I received. And to me, that is fabulous because I'm a person that likes to walk around and, moving around and all that. So without having menstrual pain, menstrual problem and all this thing, I feel like heaven. Okay. At first.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's really fabulous. It's like, oh God. But later on, I realized this is a problem because I can feel that my emotions, my mood can be suddenly very, very high. I'm very excited. Okay. But then when it gets low, it is extremely low for me. I do not know. It's like you feel empty. You don't
It's
know.
like what they call mood swings. You're swinging
Yeah,
from one mood to the other. Yeah.
yeah. And when you're down, you are really, really down.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that kind of feeling, it's quite scary. I would say, because if as though as I'm a mad woman in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah. A lot of husbands that say to me, "I've got a mad woman living in my house. Where's my wife? You know, this crazy woman has come here."
Yeah, but that's why is that I when because that time I was still working for other people. So when I started to notice my problem, how they overcome it is that I told my staff, I told them honestly what is happening, and I do feel something is weird going around. I do not know what it is, but I can sense that I have mood swings. So if you experience me as, I started to talk a little bit
The
louder,
dragon lady.
yeah, then don't come to me. And I will also give you a symptom. I will off my room light. You know,
Okay.
I have my own. I have my own office.
So you'd put off
So
your light so people would know, don't disturb me. I'm in one of my
yes,
crazy moods. Yes.
yeah, I'll off my light, close the door, and whatever. If they need anything, you just email to me or send me messages or whatever. I will respond. But do not come and provoke me because I do not know what I will do. I mean, it's not their fault; it's my fault. But
Yes.
if I know what happened, then I can control it.
Yeah, it's exactly this. Is communication is a major thing, and it can
Yeah.
help a lot of problems. Communication. Yeah.
Yeah, but first of all, I would say you must have self-awareness that this thing really happening.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of women are in denial of their mood swings. No, there's nothing wrong with me. It's everybody else that's wrong. I'm okay.
I mean, I would say is be vulnerable. I mean,
and how long did that last for?
it lasts for about 6 months.
Okay, so when your periods started coming back regularly, then you came back to normal.
Yes.
Yeah,
It came back to normal.
The dragon lady went away.
Yeah. I mean, they always call me a tiger because in a way yeah, because I mean that we won't want to hurt the people that we care the most. And my staff is also very supportive. When they know actually what happened, they are actually quite supportive as well. So yeah, it's a cooperation, I would say.
Okay. And do you have any advice that you would give to our listeners that are perimenopausal or menopausal?
I would say, first of all, get self-awareness. I mean, it's not a secret that women will experience menopause at a certain age.
Yeah.
Or before that, you will get perimenopause or whatever it is. But this is a reality. We are women. Each and every one of us will experience this sooner or later. But what I would say is that, first of all, be calm, be cool, and just accept the fact that this thing is going to happen.
And you wrote a book.
Yeah.
Breaking limiting beliefs. Can you show us that? Yeah. So can you tell us about your book?
Well, this book is about the limiting belief that is within us. Okay. So there's a lot of limiting belief. So, for example, I'm not beautiful. I'm not good enough. Okay. All those kind of things is limiting belief. And how do you overcome this? How do you break the limiting belief in you? It's all written in my book. So, first of all, that we will always ask ourselves is whatever that we are experiencing is real? If you keep on telling yourself that you're not good, now who told you that?
Yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if there's no one else that is telling you, it is you yourself who is saying that. Yeah. So the one that we have to fix is ourselves. Even though there could be people that is telling you this. So let's say 10 friends. So is it 10 of them also say the same thing or just only one? If they say no, if it's only one that is telling you that you are not good, why can't we ask them in a polite way, why do you think that I'm not good? In what way? Okay, so then we can correct and improve ourselves. I mean, all this whatever other people has tell us is a kind of feedback, and how we actually use the feedback matters, and it matters a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and I also know some of the women. I mean, my mom was menopause.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, she's now in her 60s. So I would say that when during her time, when she was having that period, yeah, we can really see the mood swing and how she will flare up her temper and etc. And yeah, people may do something very drastic to they themselves and to the people that they love.
Yeah.
And sometimes because they are so frustrated, they do not even know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Then what happened? They will start to sabotage themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Self-sabotage.
Yeah.
That's where all your limiting belief come. I'm not good enough. Okay, I'm not beautiful. So my husband went to look for another woman. You know, this kind of thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because we keep on playing with our mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you really have a problem, then just say it out.
Yeah. I think a lot of times, most of the problems we have in life are in our head and they're not in reality. And so recently I was at a meeting conference with T. Harv Eckert, you know, and he has this saying, when these negative things come, you just say, well, thank you for visiting, but just bye-bye, you know, and just rub them off your shoulder. But as you said, the most important thing is to be aware that we are talking negatively to ourselves. And I really love this thing that you did where you put the light off in your office to warn people. I used to say to my sons when they were little and I was having a difficult time, I would paint my nails and the kids didn't like the nail polish and they were too young for them to understand that I was in a bad mood or, you know, I needed a break.
Yeah.
But they hated the nail polish. So every time they would go, Mama, he did this, Mama, he did that. And he'd come and they'd smell, oh, I don't like that. And they would go away and they would leave me in peace. And there was some days when I was so stressed, I would paint my nails 5 times a day. But I would have half an hour 5 times in the day.
Oh my goodness.
But that was like that was my signal to them, you know, and maybe some of our listeners could learn from your idea about putting the light off when they say to their husbands, okay, when I'm feeling a really bit uneasy and I could bite you because I'm feeling like this, I'm going to put a candle on the window or you know, put the light out in some room or something and leave a signal for the husband so that the husband just walks into the room and goes, uh-oh, there's the candle. I better just go and do something else and not disturb her. It's a really nice idea. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it actually is a good thing. And by the way, I'm not very sure that is in Europe, do you guys have any kind of like educations that you can educate the male together so that they understand about this menopause thing, so they can treat their other half differently, because this is very important as well.
Yeah. Well, this is something that I'm writing a book for men to understand their crazy wives, the wives that are going through the crazy menopause. So hopefully that will come out in the next few months. Because it's really important, because I've heard so many times of couples getting divorced during the menopausal years because the woman does go a bit crazy, and it's difficult for him. It's difficult for the woman. The woman doesn't know, why am I going crazy at this? Like you experienced that yourself.
Yeah.
And even telling your staff, like, I don't know why I'm crazy, but you accepted that it was a reality. And by accepting that it's a reality, that's the first step to recovery, or the first step to coping with it. Because if we just go in denial, you know, it's like I have met women that are absolutely refusing that they're in menopause. Absolutely, you know, even though their periods have stopped, you know, they're just saying, oh, and no, even lying that their periods are still coming, you know, still buying sanitary towels, you know. It's absolutely, because they're in one situation. This lady, the man that came to me for help, and he says, my wife is going crazy, you know, and I asked, when was her last period? And he said, 5 years ago. And then when I interviewed her, you know, privately in a coaching session, I said, when was your last period? She went, oh, just a few days ago. I said, are your periods irregular? No, every 28 days. And her husband had told me that, and he says she's buying sanitary towels and it's like, and then she just keeps them in the cupboard, and then a few days later they're disappearing. I think she's ripping them up and putting them down the toilet or something like that. And she was in so much denial. But also her mood swings were so bad, and she was doing crazy things like she'd lost her job and she couldn't tell her husband that she'd lost her job. So she kept pretending to go out to work every day, until at the end of the month there was no salary. And then it was even a worse situation because the husband's expecting the salary to pay the bills. And then she just broke down crying and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't tell you." And he says, "But I've been giving you money for the benzene or the gas to go to work." And she says, what have you been doing? "Oh, I've just been sleeping in the car." Do you know what I mean? So, that's it's an extreme case, But I think if people are listening, they can say, "Oh, I don't want to be that extreme." So if you feel things getting a little bit upset, communicate with your husband or your partner or your kids. Like I had to tell my kids that, because sometimes I would go, "Blah," and then afterwards I'd come back to them and say, "I'm so sorry. It wasn't your fault. You did nothing. You just walked into the room while I was having an explosion in my brain." And then my sons actually cried because I apologized to them. And I think a lot of people don't apologize to their partners or don't apologize to their kids. And it's really important to do that. We get hurt if somebody bitches at us and screams at us, we feel really hurt. And then we are thinking, "Oh, why do they not apologize?" But sometimes we forget we have to apologize when we do it to people. And it was great, the story you had about telling your staff about it. Pre-warn them. I think it's like prevention is better than cure, isn't it?
Yeah, that is definitely, prevention is still better than cure. I always emphasize that. And I can share with you one story as well that is happening in Malaysia. I mean, there's a lady, I think that she's about close to 70. So what happened is that, well, definitely she's in menopause period. I mean, no period and extra.
Yeah, postmenopausal.
So, yeah, postmenopausal. So that she still has a husband. So what happened is that because when she doesn't have the mood for sex anymore. Okay, so that is, yeah, maybe because of this menopause thing, then she doesn't have craving for that. And what happened was that the husband wants it. So the husband will try, to show his passion and whatever it is, but the woman just hate it. And what happened was the woman even, chased her husband out of the room, out of the bedroom. And this actually spoiled the relationship.
Yeah.
So one advice that was given by one of my friends, who is also one of my friends is about 70 over years old. So she advised to the lady, she gave a very nice advice to the lady. Okay, now what? You are experiencing this and all that. So you have a mood swing, you have a changing of sex desire and etc. So, but man is still man. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yes, maybe you don't like it, but at least you tell to him and then you can let him touch you. You just let him touch you. Maybe the man just want, to shower his care and love for you. So you just let him, touch you and all that, then the whole thing will change. And actually, in fact, the relationship really did change. Once she began to accept her husband, then the whole thing actually very changed a lot. She just nowadays is that she will just open up the door and then the man will just come to the room and then just pat her, just touch her. Touch her hands or legs and all that. And the man doesn't really need to have the sex per se, but at least some kind of body touch.
Yeah, well, at least he can have one hand on the woman and one hand on himself and to himself.
Yeah, whatever. But
whatever works.
Yeah, because the women, we must be sensitive enough that our other half have a desire as well.
Yeah.
So because it's also pretty difficult, pretty hard for the men, because of what we are experiencing, and then they don't get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we're treating them very badly in a way.
Yeah,
So,
maybe you
of
don't
course,
maybe you don't know the symptom, but a lot of women when they're postmenopausal, their vagina becomes very dry, and therefore
Yes.
it's very painful to have sex. And a lot of women that I've spoken to, it's not that they're they still want to have sex, but it's painful. So then they go, no, 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 no. Instead of because there are lubricants that you can use,
Yeah.
and you just put them down, and then because the body's not producing the fluid that it needs. So once you put that lubricant in, then it can solve the problem. So maybe this older lady was just in pain. So if I was there, I would give her a bottle of this lubricant and say, try this, see if that spices up your life.
I don't think Malaysian grandma at that stage is still that open to use those kind of lubricant. Yeah. Yeah.
But you never know, you never know what goes on behind closed doors. And I hope that when I'm 70, I'll still be enjoying my life in the bedroom.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So as we said, when we are communicating, I mean, relationship, it's also called in our life. We are not just living alone. We have other parties. We have our friends. If we are working, we have our staff. If you are married, you will have your spouse. Your husband is with you. You have your kids. You may have your grandchildren. So don't let this menopause thing affects your life, affect our life. Because, they are the one that really experience it, really feel the feedback that you are having on this menopause. Because you're giving out the maybe we ourselves, we don't realize it, but other people, they can surely feel.
Yeah. Like sometimes when I'm giving a talk to a crowd that's mixed, not just menopausal women, like in a company environment, sometimes I'm talking to the whole company about how you can help menopausal women. And before I start to talk, a lot of people say, oh, I don't need to come to this. I'm not a menopausal woman. And I say, yeah, maybe you're not a menopausal woman, but you must have a menopausal woman in your life, either now or in the future. Like it could be your mother, your sister, your workmate, your whatever. And then they go, oh yeah, really? And then it's funny for me, like girls that are in their 20s, they say, oh, I don't need to come to this. It's years before I hit my menopause. I says, yes, but if you don't listen to what I'm going to tell you, you won't know what to expect when menopause hits. And then you'll be saying, oh, I wish I had listened to that woman 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And that maybe her mother was going through it, and if you know what's going to happen, then you can prepare for it. But if you don't know what's going to happen, then you just get slapped in the face. Yeah.
Because we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah. I mean, this was my story. When I was if people want to listen to the very first podcast, I give the story of my life, but in a synopsis, when I had my first period, I had no idea what it was. I actually thought I was dying because my mother was like Irish Catholic, never spoke about sex or periods or anything like that was like taboo. Like, oh, she couldn't do it. So I was in gym class and then this blood came and I thought, I'm dying. And I went home to die, But then afterwards, I found out what it was. And then I vowed to myself that I would never be in a situation where I wouldn't know what was happening to my body. I would know like this is the natural thing in my body. Of course, if it's like a breast lump or something like that, that's an unexpected thing. But I should, and of course I studied medical science, so I should know about my body. And when I started getting symptoms, I had no idea. And even when I went to the family doctor, they had no idea as well. And they were sending me, they said, oh, maybe you have Alzheimer's, maybe you have dementia. And it was like, it never occurred to them to think, ask me, okay, you're 40 something. What are your periods like? And ask me if I have any other menopausal symptoms. No. And the thing is, because doctors, they're lucky if they get one day in medical school about menopause, and yet 50% of their customers are women. And if every single woman will go through menopause if she lives long enough,
Yes.
So it's a really big subject that they should be taught about properly.
Yeah, so there should be, like I said, other than we need to self-awareness and give out some kind of symptoms, some kind of alert to the people around us. And also education is the very, very important.
Yeah.
Because it's not just to the woman that is having, women, but it's also to the male.
Yeah.
to the family members as well, so that they know how to give the emotional and mentally support to this lady, because that is extremely important, because no woman would want to be seen as a mad woman, honestly. I mean,
and that reminds me, to the listeners, if there's a man listening or your husband would like to contact me, I'm looking for men to give their stories about their menopausal woman to put in my book. So please contact me at pauline@menopausemorph.com. Okay. And Claire, if people want to buy your book, where can they buy it?
Oh, they can get it from my website, okay, infinitealtitude.com.
Infinitealtitude.com.
Yeah, or they can send me an email, or you can go to Amazon. It's on Amazon.
Amazon, and it's Breaking Limiting Beliefs by Claire Liang.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to order that myself, because I'm always telling my kids, oh, you can do anything, and I'm always thinking that I can do anything, but I recognize that I do have limiting beliefs. Sometimes you don't recognize that you have a limiting belief until you're in that situation, and then you think, oh, wait a minute. And it is a limiting belief. Yes.
Because I always stress that we do not know what we don't know. So sometimes when we are fighting, we are squabbling with others, complaining with others, fight with others or whatever it is. Those kind of action is also a symptom that is telling us is that we do not know what we don't know.
Yeah.
Just because we do not know, so we tend to argue. We like to argue, okay? But just go and do some study. And and to all the female listeners out there, my advice is take care of your health. And our body is very, very important. Not just the female and the male as well, if there's male listener. And nowadays, I'm starting my healthy drink,
Oh, great.
This is all greenery things. It's a detox drink. So,
and what do you have in it?
I have spinach, I have kale, and I have parsley, and sometimes I'll put in the broccoli as well.
Okay.
So celery, and then I will put in the spinach. Spinach is good. Okay, kale is for calcium and all that, and then I'll put in 1 lemon and 1 green apple.
Okay, great.
So it is not bitter. A lot of people, when I first try on this green detox drink, my friend, all of them tell me that, hey, you won't be able to take it because it's bitter.
Yeah.
Okay? Because this drink is all chlorophyll. It's going to be very, very bitter.
Yeah.
But as I said, you don't know what you don't know. When I first made this, I absolutely love it. It is not bitter at all.
Do you ever put ginger into it?
No.
When I do it, I put ginger in, and sometimes I put in turmeric, the root of the turmeric. Yeah.
Because in Malaysia here, there's a limit of the vegetable that I can get.
Okay.
Because all this must be organic. So organic farm, they don't really have much choices. So sometimes I even go there and I don't even get a lot of the choices. So I have to get whatever that is available.
Okay.
Yeah.
I miss Malaysia. I lived there in 1981, so it's really nice to hear your accent again.
Yeah, I hope
okay,
that
okay
the listener will
okay
enjoy it. Yeah. So that's why I was very, very surprised when you sent me the la in the earlier message. I was like,
what is
okay.
this?
Yeah, I should know something about Malaysia. So like,
and are you speaking Cantonese?
Yeah, I speak Cantonese and Chinese.
Okay. 我唔係快婆，我係蘇格蘭人。
Oh, 一級 good. Oh. But how many years have you stayed in Malaysia?
It was just 1 year. It was in 1981. A long, long, long time ago. You were just a baby. No, you would have been about 3 years old.
Not really a baby.
About 3.
Yeah, about 4.
Yeah. But it'll always be in my heart, and I wish one day to come back there again. Maybe I'll bring my show, The Pearls of Pauline, maybe I'll bring it to Malaysia and Singapore and all around that area. That would be great.
Yeah, actually, I think this is something that it will benefit the Asian as well, because this kind of subject, not many people is talking about it. And
No.
there are women that is experiencing a problem with this, and they just don't talk about it.
Wow.
So I think that it actually does help
Mhm.
the people, the Malaysian and the Singaporean here.
And are you living in KL?
No, I'm living in Johor Bahru, which is
Johor
near to
Bahru.
Singapore.
Okay. So maybe I'll put that on my list for my world tour.
Yeah. You should. You should.
Okay, so we're near the end of our time. Is there any last words you want to say to the people?
Well, take good care of your health, because health is wealth.
Mhm.
Nothing is much more important than health.
Ah,
Without health, you are nothing.
exactly.
So health is the most important thing. And treasure the relationship with all your loved ones, all the people that is around you, be it you know or you do not know, because you never know that you mean the world to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's lovely. So thank you very much for coming. And as usual, we have to say to our guests or our listeners, we are not giving out medical advice, but please drink your green juices. That's a very good advice. And say goodbye to Claire. Bye-bye, Claire. And we'll see you all on the next episode. Bye.
Sure, looking forward.
Thanks for listening to Menopause Morph, your time to change. If you've enjoyed the program, be sure to subscribe to the next one and please leave a rating and review on iTunes to help us spread the message about thriving through the menopause. To get a free ebook, more menopausal resources, and to connect with Pauline, please visit www.menopausemorph.com.